Hello, welcome to Red Flash Rundown. I am Cam Tirado, a junior communications major here at SFU. Today we are talking with Katie Kitchen, president of student activities, talking about homecoming. So Katie, I know you're the president of student activities, but can you please explain your job description and what it's like to run all the students' events here?
Yeah, so as the president of student activities, I oversee all of the events that we have on the weekend. We typically host 3 to 4 events on Fridays and Saturdays for all undergraduate students to go to. I work with a lot of other clubs and organizations as well to collaborate and host events for students, and we work with roughly $150,000 every year. So we do have a lot to plan, so I am overseeing quite a few events. However, it's a really great time just to set up the events, run the events, meet new students, see students make memories with their friends, and just have a very safe environment where they can really enjoy St. Francis and just have a really great experience on the weekends.
Oh, that's really nice. So where do the fundings from homecoming come from?
So most of the funding for homecoming comes straight from the student activities budget. We have roughly $27,000 set aside this year just for homecoming. However, a lot of different academic programs and majors pitch in. We have athletics doing different events. The alumni office hosts a lot of events. So there are a lot of people putting other funds into this. However, most of the money does come from student activities. But that's what I really like about it, is that everyone can pitch in and everyone can host these events together.
Wow, that's awesome. So how much time and how do you exactly plan out all the events for homecoming?
So homecoming planning started about a year ago. Last November, the Student Activities Executive Board went to Hartford, Connecticut, and there's when we saw a bunch of different acts and different performers, and they come from all across the country. And our favorites were 2 circus performers who were backup performers in The Greatest Showman movie, and that's why we decided to bring them and plan homecoming sort of around that theme. So our theme this year is like a circus carnival themed that's loosely based off of that movie. And so that's kind of where planning started. However, the bulk of the planning started over the summer and really picked up during this semester.
Oh, I love that movie. That was such a great movie. So, what are the events that are planned for homecoming this year?
So this year we have quite a few things the same as last year, but we've also tried to add some new things. So one of the favorites that students always enjoy is casino night. So we start that off on Thursday, where different professors run all of the different tables, and all of the students can come and play all of the different casino games for free. And then at the end of the night, they have the chance to win a lot of different prizes. So that's always a favorite, so we decided to keep it this year. And then on Friday, we have something new. Josh Gallagher from The Voice is coming to perform on campus. So it's really exciting to have someone who's also local and from this area come and perform for the whole entire community. So it's $10 for students to come and $20 for adults. But we're really excited to have this as part of our concert series hosted by the Fine Arts Department as well. So that's something new. And then Saturday, we have some new things and we're keeping a lot of our old traditions. So we have our homecoming parade that morning. But what I like about it this year is we're trying to incorporate a lot more of athletics and a lot more of our academic departments into the parade, since those are some groups that typically haven't gotten as much representation throughout homecoming. So we're really excited for the parade, and Brother Ruffino is coming back as our Grand Marshal. He was an intern for the Center for Student Engagement last year and was very involved with all of our students. So we're excited to bring him back into our community to kind of host our homecoming parade and really spend time with all of the students, because he was Advisor of the Year last year. We also have our homecoming game, which starts at noon, and this year is a blackout, so if you're coming to the game, make sure to wear black. And then after the game is when our circus performers will be there, so that's around 7 p.m., and then from that performance, students can head straight to the dance, because we're keeping that the same as we always do, and that's kind of how we'll end our night.
Geez, that's crazy how many events are planned. Sounds like a lot of fun. So my last question for you is, what do you think everyone's favorite part about homecoming is?
I think the best part about homecoming is just the community aspect about it. all different people can come, and there's really something for everyone. If you're a family bringing young kids, there's stuff for the little kids, and for alumni who are returning for their 20th reunion, there's things for them as well. And that's just what I really love about it, is everyone from the community can come together and really just take a break, relax from studying, come back to visit campus. What I also love is that we have an open house during the same day, so a lot of future students will also be visiting campus that day, and they'll be able to see how our community is and how strong of a community we really are. And really, that's my favorite part about it, is to just see everyone come together, reunite, and just really have a great time.
Awesome. Well, Katie, I just want to thank you again for being with us today. We definitely loved hearing all about homecoming. We will be right back after a short message from Eric Harrell.
Hey everyone, this is Eric Harrell, Director of Alumni Engagement, with a couple quick announcements. Homecoming is Saturday, October 26th, with our alumni tailgate at 10 a.m. Alumni Association members and their guests receive free entry into the tailgate. Not a member yet? You can sign up while registering for the tailgate at francis.edu/alumni. That's francis.edu/alumni. We're always adding new and upcoming events, so be sure to check back often. Mark your calendars for October 30th for the university's Day of Giving. Support what matters most to you at SFU by giving to your academic department, Greek chapter, favorite sports team, or club. Whatever it is, it's your gift, your choice on October 30th. But why wait? Give now at bit.ly/SFU Day of Giving with underscores between the words. That's bit.ly/SFU Day of Giving. How do you SFU? Thank you everyone, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Red Flash Rundown. I am Damian Runk, a junior communications major here at SFU. Today, I am here talking with Dr. Stephen LoRusso, professor of exercise physiology, human anatomy, and the proud owner of 5 wonderful cats. Thank you for being with us, Dr. L.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate being here. I'm looking forward to speaking with you about our time in Ambialet together.
How are things in ex-phys?
Things are going very well. We had a good year for enrollment, and we're moving along. Students are doing well, and we're in good shape.
Sounds good. So today, as you already said, we're going to be talking about our time studying abroad in France. Dr. LoRusso came with our group. He was one of the only SFU teachers to come. He came with us, and now we're going to begin our discussion. So, fun fact, Dr. LoRusso, you've been to France before, or specifically Ambialet. You've been there. Can you tell us a little bit about that, and I guess what made you want to go back?
Okay. So the first time I went to Ambialet was about 4 or 5 years ago. The college was offering opportunities for faculty to go and visit, and so I talked with my wife, and we decided we would go. So we went and spent about 3 weeks over spring break at Ambialet. We spent about a week at Ambialet, spent a week traveling, and then came back for another week to stay at Ambialet. And we had a great time. It was just a great experience, understanding seeing the different cultures where Ambialet is. It's a very rural area where it is similar to St. Francis here, but it's different. It's different. So, but it's a very relaxed environment. We really enjoyed our time there. We loved the faculty, the students, and so when I was given the opportunity to go back, I jumped at the opportunity. So I was able to go for a full semester this time, and so my wife and I chatted more about it, and we went. And our major issue, of course, as Damien referred to, our 5 cats, that became an issue with us. But anyway, nonetheless, we came back and had a great time for this. My wife did have to leave early, as you know, because of some issues at home. But I enjoyed my entire time there.
So. And we enjoyed having you as well. So, obviously, you were the teacher, I was a student, and you're involved in exercise physiology, like I said, human anatomy, things like that. So, can you tell us what you taught over there in Ambialet?
Well, I was asked to teach a core class this year, so that was a little different. I haven't taught a senior capstone or a capstone course for a few years. So this time, when asked at the last minute if I could develop a course, I said, well, yeah, sure. And so what I did was I developed a course in about cancer. We read a book called The Emperor of All Maladies, and the book is about the history of cancer, basically. And so what we did was, as a class, we read the book, we reflected on a lot of our readings, and then, like any other seminar, we sat around and chatted about all the topics in the class. And we had a lot of really good discussion. I think that what I discovered, and I think what a lot of other students discovered, is that there's a lot more to this disease and the history of this disease than we ever really thought. Sometimes, I guess one of the things is to determine that they found tumors in pharaohs, they found them in dinosaurs, and so it's pretty interesting to learn about that. But that was only part of the course. The other part of the course was related to what's known as the El Camino de Santiago, which is the Way of St. James. And what that is it's a 500 or 600 mile journey across northern Spain, where you start in France, go across the Pyrenees, and then it's a journey to Santiago in Spain. I should point out that Brother Seamus just completed that trek, as a matter of fact. Yes, he walked the entire way this summer. He had done it before, not the entire time. I think he walked about 100 miles before, but this time he walked the entire 500-mile journey. So I can't wait till he comes back so we can talk about it. But what we did there, we learned a little bit. We tried to relate the challenges and the spiritual reflection that people have when they do a journey like the Camino to what it's like to have cancer, and the journey that you find and the challenges that go along there, the spiritual things that happen, and a variety of other things. So I thought it was a great time.
Yeah, sounds like a good experience. So I guess with this experience, there's less students here, and you're more focused on like one singular group. How do you think this brought you closer together with the students you taught over in France?
Well, it pretty much gets almost like a family type atmosphere, because you see the same students. It's a small group, day in and day out. You have all your meals together, so we all sit in a big room and chat and talk, and eating meals together has a way of bringing people together, and I think that is one of the things that happened with us. The other thing is that we often went on excursions, and I guess we can talk a little bit about that in a few minutes, but I think those journeys that we took as a group to various cities, various towns, regions of France, Spain, really helped to bring us together as well, because we relied on each other through all these journeys.
Yeah, that's good. That's very nice. We visited a lot of places. We actually, as you said earlier, you said the Camino was France and Spain. We visited both countries. So you could say we did a Camino ourselves.
I would agree with that, yes.
So with all these places we visited, which one do you think was your favorite, and which one do you think really brought us together?
Well, it's a tough question because I really liked so much of what we did. But I think that the one thing that I found most rewarding for me was our first real journey out of Ambialet. We went to Toulouse, yes. Thank you very much, because I kept trying to say Albi, but we went to Toulouse, and we visited a museum, and we walked around the town. It's a very old portion of the city, and one of the things that we did after a while of being together, we split up. And so everybody went their own ways, as we did a lot of times, and visited things, and I got lost. So I know I knew where I was supposed to go, and so I was walking in the direction I thought I was going, and then when I came to a choice point, I should have turned left, and I turned right.
Oh.
And so I walked for about 2 or 3 miles saying, I think I'm lost. So anyway, I checked my map, and I realized where I had to go, and I turned around, and I walked back, and I was concerned because the bus was supposed to come pretty soon to pick us up, and I was afraid I was going to be late. And actually, I was late, but fortunately,
only a little.
Yeah. But what I learned, Eric Kremer reminded me that he said we need to be back at 4 o'clock, knowing full well the bus wasn't going to be there for another 25 minutes to make sure we were back. But anyway, as I was walking back and I finally got close to where we were supposed to be, I heard all the students say, Steve, there he is, Steve, how are you? And so that made me feel really welcome, because that everybody was concerned about my being lost and where I was, whether I got hurt, and all these other kinds of things. So that, to me, was very meaningful. And to me, that really brought me closer to all the other students and made me feel more part of the group as well.
I did like that we got on a first name basis. It wasn't always just Dr. L. It was Steve sometimes.
Well, I think it was that way all the time. And as you know, I spoke to a lot of people and said that it's great you can call me Steve here, but once we get back, you can't do that.
Oh, man. I guess one final question, I think. What do you think, since we are over in a different country, visiting people with different cultures, different from America's for months at a time, what do you think we can learn from our European counterparts?
Well, I think, to me, the most important thing that I learned, and I hope everybody else learned, is that people are pretty much the same everywhere you go. We all have the same struggles. We all have the same issues in general. We may speak different languages. Our cultures might be slightly different, but in general, we are still pretty much the same. The other thing I noticed that I noticed the first time I was in Europe, and I think a lot of people who go to Europe realize this, is that most people in Europe speak English quite well. And they speak multiple languages, not just their own and English. They'll speak French, Italian, Spanish, they'll do that. And I think, to me, that made me feel somewhat inferior in a sense, that I could walk up to someone in a foreign country and speak to them in my language, and for the most part, they understood me. But if someone from France came to the U.S. and asked me a question in French, I'd be hard-pressed to be able to help them. And that made me think that we're a little behind the times on this, and that we really should be more global in our perspective and not think of ourselves as so isolated, and that we are so much better than everybody else. I mean, it's not exactly what I want to say, but but I think that when we talk, we say English is our language, it's the only language we want to learn. And when you go in elementary school or high school, the attitude of students to learn a foreign language is they don't want to do that.
Right. Would you advise using the app Duolingo? The app that I used for like a week and threw away.
Well, I'll turn this back on you. Did you think that you should have used it?
I probably should have. I really, looking back, it's like we went into stores and we were just crossing our fingers hoping that someone spoke English, and they did. But yeah, it was a little difficult not fully understanding French, and that would have helped, but we didn't. We're Americans. We got lazy. But yeah, it all worked out in the end, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, what you're saying, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah. It's something that people can learn, and it's good that, it wasn't just vacation abroad. It was studying abroad, learning, and more than just from the books, but experiences.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Dr. L, I'd like to thank you for coming today.
I greatly appreciate it. I hope I've provided you all the information you need, and I hope that it excites people to potentially want to go to Ambialet and help us improve the experience and make it a better place for everyone.
Yeah, I feel like anyone who heard this and didn't want to go is just being a curmudgeon. They're just being a grump.
I'll agree with that.
Definitely a big experience. We loved it, and people should definitely go. So that wraps it up here for today. I'd like to thank everyone for listening, and we will see you on the next Red Flash Rundown.